are you?
The only place on your dial to make you feel good.
You're listening to
Amber Sound FM 107.2.
local band, Shackled, and that's the single that was released. I believe it's on New Year's Day, wasn't it? That's called Best Days.
Yeah, it was.
And I think I should introduce the band individually here and now. They are from my left, Elliott on guitar and vocals. Hello, Elliott.
Hello.
Tyler on drums. Hello, Tyler.
How you doing?
Dan on bass.
Hiya, you alright?
And Tom on guitar and vocals, or yodeling, as he There's one in every band. It's usually the bass player, but in this instance, it's the guitar player. A very, very warm welcome to you. Now, I remember, I think it was Tom coming up to me at Cod the Fate a couple of years ago and saying, "Here, I'm in a band. Do you want to hear us on radio?" And I said, "Yeah."
Did you say no?
And it's been a couple of years since then. So what's been happening to Shackled? In fact, let's go back to the very beginning of Shackled. Tell us how you got together. Who wants to tell that story?
Well, it's been 10 years actually. This album and this album release is basically a 10-year celebration of the band. Me and my brother Tyler on the drums. We formed the band with Tom.
10 more you two though, weren't it? Jamming in school.
We've been playing together since we were kids, and then 10 years ago we got my other brother involved, Reese, my youngest brother, because we needed a bass player, so we forced him to.
We did a few gigs without a bass player, didn't we?
Yeah,
did quite a few actually.
It was like, Reese, you're learning bass, and you didn't really have much choice in the matter.
This is how the tension started.
Yeah,
bands like the Crue and Oasis.
That's the problem we brought. Yeah, and it was literally like Oasis and all.
Yeah, plenty of arguments.
A few drumsticks thrown at each other.
So, and then about 3-4 years ago, we got Dan involved. Who's been involved with the band, helping us out over the years anyway. Mm-hmm. He joined us on bass, and he's the one that produced and mixed the album. So it's been a real great asset having him in the band these last few years and taking it to the next level. So yeah,
let's bring in Dan at this point. You let slip that you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You were a music teacher, or are a music teacher. Tell us how that helps you in terms of producing the band, in terms of maybe arranging. How does it affect how you approach songs and the band in general?
Well, I went to uni to study music technology, so all things to do with like recording things. I went on to train to be a secondary music teacher, and I work in special educational needs. And all of that experience through recording, I mean, whilst I was at uni recording things, I wasn't in the band Shackled, but I often asked you for help because I had recording projects.
Yeah.
So I needed you to come and help me, saying, "Oh, I need a band to record in this recording studio. Do you fancy coming along?"
And we said no.
No, you definitely said yes, and it was really helpful, and it helped me learn a lot of my craft to do with recording and everything.
Yeah, well, because bass is not even your primary instrument, is it?
No, my main instrument's piano, which I've learned since I was about 6 years old, and then picked up guitar when I was about 15.
You can play like nearly every instrument.
A positive George Martin from the sound of it. In fact, it's good to have someone with that knowledge, because they can then translate your ideas into dots on paper or into notes on a hard drive these days. Do you find that, anyone?
Yeah, it's definitely help what he contributes to the song, because me and Tom are normally the primary songwriters, but then he'll think, "Oh, we can add this bit in, you can add that bit in, why don't we try this, why don't we try that," from his experience as a pianist, which really helps a lot with adding a bit more depth to the songs and stuff.
Yeah, just like sort of different flavours to the songs,
just giving it that
something
extra.
The smart one in the band, aren't you?
It's really good at piecing things together. Like, we could have like 6 different riffs and ideas, and Dan can somehow just throw them all together and it sounds alright.
I think that's the thing with musical ideas, with riffs and with other little musical patterns. It's a matter of using them sparingly so that they're more memorable. Sometimes less is more, as they say.
Yeah.
So you take something out, you make another song of that, and then what you have left is something that is instantly memorable, and that's the way that great songs are made. It sounds as though you have 1 or 2 great songs in the making. to judge from the album as well as I was listening to.
Thank you very
it.
much.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the writing process. What was the first impetus to write? What were the first influences, or was there any one song or band in particular that
We'd all be good at answering this.
made you? Well, each of you. Why don't you each answer it?
Well, for me, these songs, a lot of these songs have been around for about 5 or 6 years. They were left off the first album, because this is a second album. These ideas have all stemmed from our influences, which it does vary between the band members. I mean, my primary influences are bands like AC/DC and Metallica, plus a bit of like Oasis and stuff thrown in there, and bands like the Cult and things like that. Whereas with Daniel, is more the heavy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, more into like the sort of shouty, screamy music, Kill Switch Engage, Bullet for My Valentine, all that lovely stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like about us though, because we've all got, even though we're all into the same style of music, and we've all got different bits that we go off. I like a lot of indie music, but I also obviously all the heavy stuff. My influence, same as Elliott's, being AC/DC, Metallica, but I like from Aerosmith and all, Aerosmith to like what he said, Oasis, but I also love stuff like the Kooks, Catfish, and the Bottlemen, all the way back to
the Makers, and
Reverend the Makers, back to Disturbed and Iron Maiden. So it all brings different things into the band and all different ideas. Or Tom, listen to this, and he'll probably say, "No, I'm not having that." Or do this. Like.
We keep playing it.
If we play it too many times, well, Tom's is.
I was about to say,
all of us.
I was going to say, I didn't hear Tom mention any influences. Tom, what about you?
Well, I'm inspired by everything pretty much, and that's why a lot of my songs sound completely different to one before. Like keen interest on like war poetry and stuff like that, and that's like where I nick a load of ideas.
Well, why not? Poetry is there, it's out there, and there are some fabulous ideas in there, whether you're setting the poems as they are or you're using them as a jumping off point, as I'm sure Bruce Dickinson does with some of his
He is good with lyrics, Tom is. Very good.
Yeah, Tom is the primary lyric writer in the band. I think more than half the songs on the album, the lyrics are written by Tom. He'll write them, then we'll try and work them into how the song goes. So there's slight adjustments, but the main ideas for the album are from Tom, and he's the one that came up with the title track, Lost Heroes. He wrote that one and wrote all the lyrics to that, which is you want to tell the story about that song, Tom?
Why don't we hear Lost Heroes, and we'll let Tom introduce it.
He actually sings on this one as well.
Go on, Tom. Just tell us a little about Lost Heroes, and we'll play it.
Well, originally this song started out as an acoustic song, and it's not that now. And it's basically about with someone going to war and coming back and struggling with PTSD, and then basically turning to drugs and stuff to try and cope with it. And that's the basic gist of the song.
This is Lost Heroes by Shackled with lyrics by Tom Saint. moving coda there at the end of Lost Heroes by Shackled, who are with me this evening. We'll be taking a break in a second or two and then listening to another song by Shackled. It's called Let Me In. Who wants to introduce that one?
Go on, Daniel.
This is the first track on the album, Let Me In. Lyrics written by Elliott, based on a real life experience.
A real life encounter with a certain female.
You have stalkers already. That's good news. That's always a bonus of being in a band. We'll hear Let Me In by Shackled in a couple of minutes' time. Our 107.2 Amber Sound FM. The time is 28 minutes to 9. This is Could It Be Anything Else But The Zone.
This is real local radio, unique to Amber Valley and closer to your heart. It's your local radio service.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Amber Sound 107.2 FM.
Out of
Let Me In, that's by Shackled, local band Shackled, I should say, from their current album, their second album indeed. They're here with me tonight. They are, from my left and my right, Elliott, Tyler, Dan and Tom. They've been chatting about the influences behind their music and indeed their career. Let's hear now about what you're up to right now, where people can see you and indeed where people can buy the album.
Well, the new album, Lost Heroes, is coming out officially next Saturday, the 15th of February. We'll be doing an album launch gig at the Mire Miners Welfare. And joining us will be a special guest, local band Souls of Fury, local indie band Square One, local solo musician Josh Leviton, and our bass player Dan's solo project Death Divine will also be playing. So that's next Saturday, the 15th of February at Mire Miners Welfare. It's completely free entry. We'll be selling our new album there. Plus our new t-shirts and merchandise, and we are running a competition soon on our Facebook page where you can win one of the t-shirts and a copy of the album and a few more goodies. So if you visit our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Shackled Rock, that's our next gig, and after that we're at the Eagle Tavern in Heege, another local one, on Saturday the 29th of February. And then after that, we're at the Tap and Tumbler in Nottingham on Friday the 6th of March. We have got a load more dates, but you can find them out on our Facebook page or our Instagram page.
That's facebook.com/Shackled Rock. And if they want to get hold of the album, your Bandcamp page is shackleduk.bandcamp.com, because there is a US band called Shackled as well.
Yeah, there is.
We've had it longer.
What other...
Yeah, I might be able to.
What plans do you have for the future? Any plans for the future?
Well, I think we've been in the studio a while. I think we want to sort of play some of these new songs that we've had, like Cutthroat Kiss and Lost Heroes, a bit more over the next year or two. Start writing some new materials, start learning new covers as well, because we're like
getting on all the original gigs, weren't we?
Yeah, that as well, and then possibly do another album in the future as well.
Just gig, really.
Basically, all this year is promoting this album. Plenty of local gigs, plus a few festival dates in the summer. You might see us at a Ripley Music Festival at some point over the summer, and various other local festivals. We have applied to play at the Rock and Blues. We have played before. Hopefully they'll get back to us.
Played 3 times, haven't we?
And we can play again. But yeah, all this year I'll be pushing the new album. Yeah, from next Saturday it'll be available on Spotify and Apple Music and
iTunes, Google Music, Amazon. And as well, you can buy the physical copy on the Bandcamp page and just at gigs.
Or at gigs,
yeah.
Terrific. So lots to look forward to from Shackled. Now you know where to find us. Do please stay in touch with us and come in and talk about whatever you have happening, and we'll happily have you back in the studio. It's been a great pleasure meeting you.
Thanks very much.
One more track to play from the album. Which is it to be, and who wants to introduce it?
You can, Tyler, because you've not done one yet.
This next track is called Burn, and I believe Thomas Saint wrote the lyrics.
Well, it was both of us, actually. It was loads of ideas and we slapped it together, and this is it.
And it's my personal favourite on the album.
Let's see a Burn then from Shackled. Shackled, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
No worries.
Hope to meet you again sometime.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.